What? Shots at Mike McCarthy? Like Rex Ryan now, too?
Yeah, when dudes got their own pocket, do what they want. I love it, though.
Speak your mind, Micah, so what? Yo, you know what's crazy?
So what?
His McCarthy comments didn't bother me. I think people took it out of context. I really do think they did. His McCarthy comments, he's not saying that McCarthy should be fired. He ain't saying none of that. Can I be honest about what bothered me? I don't know if y'all heard it like I heard it. One, James, if I'm asking you about Mike McCarthy, what you say? How you call Mike McCarthy?
Coach Mike.
It was interesting to me that he kept calling Mike McCarthy by his government, first and foremost. That was just interesting to me. When we talk about coaches, sometimes there's a verbiage of like familiarity that it seemed like he didn't have. The other thing, when he was talking about his defensive coordinator, Chase, what's the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys' name?
Mike Zimmer.
Mike Zimmer. He said Coach Zimmerman. So I'm just sitting here like, and again, I just think the podcast is doing more bad than good. The podcast, to me, is just doing more bad than good because, first off, again, James played for Mike McCarthy for maybe 10 years or something like that. He always says Coach Mike, not to read into it, but when I'm talking about my coaches, I say like Coach Brown if I'm talking about Mac Brown. Or I say like, I don't know, it's weird. I do. But the other thing is like, but then when he was talking about the DC, I'm like, you didn't even call your DC his like, you said the wrong name. Like, do you know your DC's name? It just threw me off. I don't know. Y'all know me. I'm an analyst. I'm way too analytical. It just threw me off. I have no issue with the Mike McCarthy comments. I do not think he was trying to get Mike McCarthy fired. I got no issue with that. But I'm like, do you know your DC's name? I don't know.
That is tricky, because, like, you should know that.
It threw me off, man.
I don't mind what he said. I guess because maybe he's from Harrisburg. I'm from Harrisburg, so I get what he's trying to say. And as a player, right, like, he talked about Mike McCarthy can go anywhere. Okay, Coach Mike, is that cool? He said he can go anywhere. And he was saying, like, yo, if he gets fired tomorrow, he can go interview for any job in the league, right?
Get it.
And I don't know what his contract, he's done with the contract, but if, let's say he had 2 more years on his contract, he get that guaranteed money. Or Zack Martin, who's been fighting for contracts, and he's probably been the best player on the offense, 1 or 2 for the last decade or so. He feels bad for a guy like that who wants to get to a championship, that puts the work in every day in camp and et cetera. And now our season looks like this. So I get what he was trying to say. He could have said it better. But another thing is, like, we on TV and we talk all day long. This is what we get paid for.
Crazy stuff.
He get paid to go get sacks. So maybe he's not, like, trained as well as certain dudes. I mean, you play with certain DNs. Yeah, I played with dudes like, you don't even say their names, but they would say the same way, like, oh, I know what he's trying to say. So I guess I give him credit for that, like, okay. And then he backtracked and said, you know what, I didn't mean it like that. So
after he got called in the principal's office, though.
I mean, he ain't scared.
True.
No, but what you gonna do to him? You know what I'm saying? I just think that the way he said, he could have said a little bit better. And I've been on TV. I remember calling Dak ass, right? And I should say, Dak's not ass, but he's playing like ass. That's how you say things, that's all.
That's real.
And you constantly say, hey, look, man, hey, next time.
Just say it like this.
Yeah, so maybe there's an OG and Al Harrison. Everybody loves him, I see, on that defense. I can see Al Harrison, hey, look, hey, young, look, I know you the man, but dog, when you say next time, just say it like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm sure he did. I'm sure. But I think, like, first of all, let me just say, I don't really have an issue with what he said. I think he meant it with no ill harm whatsoever. The interesting thing was put in more time and work than Mike McCarthy ever did.
That was Mike. But he's talking, he's talking about the football part, probably.
Yeah, but he said, I don't have an issue with what he said for the most part, except for the part about playing for legends. That put in more time and work than Mike McCarthy ever did.
I need to read that.
It's at the very end.
That's what struck me.
And so for me, I'm like, everything you said, can you put it on the big board?
Put it on the big board, please.
Everything that he said was fine until the yellow highlighted part. And it do great things. You want to win games and do great things with those type of legends. Like he's talking about Zack Martin.
No, you can read that.
Put in more time and work than Mike McCarthy ever did. And so I wasn't sure if he meant on the football field, but I took it as
that's what he meant.
I didn't really take it as a shot, but then I took it as a shot. I think you just fumbled your words a little bit. But so back to your point, because you said something which caught my mind, and I wasn't going to go there. But I said, hey, like, you know, he got called into the principal's office. And you said, well, who cares? What are they going to do about it? And you're 100% right. And I think that's a little bit of the bigger issue here is you think, and I don't know if he thinks this, but acting at times that you think you're above the team. And so that's the bigger issue in Dallas because you ain't gonna do nothing to him. He's your franchise cornerstone player. You're gonna play. He's untouchable. And I think that when you put like the power in those guys' hands at times, because the best teams I've been around, there's definitely superstar players. And I'm not saying he acts a certain way, but the superstar players for Dallas, we're talking about their podcasts. We're talking about their injury. We're talking about all these things that he said. This is like the 4th time on this show that we talked about Micah because of comments he said. So I just think that Al Harris or one of the other guys on the team need, like, dude, I get you have your podcast. I'm all for it. Just watch what you say.
But who? Because we talked about this, James, before Chase was ever on the show. Remember, we talked about how Malik Hooker, starting safety for the Cowboys, said, hey, Mike at a podcast, I don't think we should be doing a podcast. And then to Shady's point, like, Malik, who are you? If we don't get rid of somebody, we'll just get rid of you. Yeah. Nobody can really talk to Micah on that team because he's outside of CD.
DeMarcus Lawrence, I mean, he's not as good as Micah, but he does some equity in this league.
Yeah. Jerry Jones, good.
Eric Kendrick. You don't have to be a superstar to talk to me. When you earn that right, he played on good teams. He was a good player. He can speak up. Zack Martin.
Zach, for sure.
I just think that, like, everybody's different, right? So a guy like Larry Fitzgerald, we all think he's a phenomenal person. But in his mind, like, he's bigger than the team, right? It might not act like it, but, like, I know if I say certain things or it might get misconstrued in the media, ain't not going to happen to me. It's not like Kelsey, right? Kelsey is one of the best teammates I've ever played with.
Facts.
But in his mind, I'm untouchable. So if I
doesn't really show it, that's the thing.
But what I'm saying is, well, if I do these podcasts, I say things on the podcast, that might be whatever it might be, or if I date this girl, whatever he does. Because Kelsey, we ain't gonna act like Kelsey is a straight walking dude. It's my boy, right? But he knows that, I'm so good, right? Now, he's not a bad teammate, but look, I could do a little bit more extra because I am Kelsey. That's every superstar knows that.
Push the line a little bit.
And Andy Reid know that.
And nobody should question that.
Right.
I can't not act like Aaron Rodgers. I cannot act like Charles Woodson. If you a young player, understand that now. You cannot act like that. I used to tell people all the time when Beast Mode was doing his stuff, you're not Beast Mode. You cannot get up to the interviews and say what Beast Mode is saying. He is an animal out there, okay? You're not. You're trying to make the team. You know what I'm saying? You can't be up there and I'm only up here so I can't get fired. Answer the dang questions because you're going to get cut. Beast Mode going to be there. But at the end of the day, number one, that's what I took issue with, just that last line, because we all know, no matter what coach you played for, they the first in the building, and they are the last out the building, and they put in way more hours than you put in. Way more hours. And I understand you on the field, we battling, body hurt, we in the ice tubs, they ain't in the ice tubs in the training, none of that, but they put in a lot of time. But another thing we got to understand is Micah is still a young player.
Yes.
I think since he had so much success, we want to put him like he a true veteran. Micah's still a young player. There's veterans on this team that I could truly think could speak up because he is a young player. Hey, young pup, hey, relax, chill out. So even with him being that young, the only thing that got me too, though, is you saying you want to do it for Zack Martin, which is cool because that's why we're on the field. When you're playing next to your brothers, hey, coaches is cool, but we out here battling. Man, I'm trying to help you win a Super Bowl, Jordy. I'm trying to help you win a Super Bowl, Wood. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that. The only thing I don't like, and I got some video because you saying that you doing this for Zach, it's 34-6, dog. What we cracking up about? Like it's 34-6.
Season over.
We weak out here. Like what's funny? Why you even leaning over to me telling me a joke, Trayvon Diggs? It's 34-6.
Two of your leaders.
At the crib. We done been blown out every game at the crib.
That's good.
This repping for Zach?
Yeah. Good point.
I'm just asking because you getting up there in the media after this, and it's funny? Come on, man. It's 34-6, man. Y'all ain't stopped nobody. Offense ain't scored. And you laughing. But you trying to get Zack Martin to the Super Bowl? Make it make sense.
Yeah, you got a point. I mean, but come on, can you be honest? Can you be honest, though? Like,
make it make sense, dog.
Before that game started, we knew they was gonna lose. Before the year started, what did I tell y'all? They're not gonna do playoffs. So why be upset now? We've been through this months ago.
So what did you see in before the year that just made you say that? Because they had 12-12-12.
I think
I'm interested in that.
I think they lack leadership from players, right? I think they lack heart from certain key players, quarterback included. That's what I'm really talking about. And if you can't dominate with that type of roster you had, you take some of that roster away, now what you gonna be?
Good points.
This makes sense.
Wow.
Would you and D-Jack be laughing if y'all was down 34-6?
Nah.
Ain't nothing to laugh about, huh?
Nah, but our yeah, you're right. We won't be laughing. Yeah. Nah, we won't be laughing. Dang.
That's a good pull.
And I will say this though, Andy Reese is laughing. He definitely gonna.
He gonna say something.
Come here.
Yeah, what's
On
so
the
funny?
field too.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.